used to say we don't have.
It's cheaper.
One answer, Mr. Secretary, is that wages are lower over there. And now there are robots who can do it. You're going to see robotic production of iPhones and the jobs that are going to be created. People who build those factories, the mechanics who work on those robots. These jobs are going to be millions and millions of those jobs. These are great, high-paying jobs, and you don't need a college education to do it. This is the recreation of tradecraft in the United States of America, and Donald Trump is on it. He's bringing it back, and you were going to see Apple. Why did Apple say they were going to invest $500 billion in America? Because they're going to build the robots to build their iPhones in America. That's the first time reshoring and robotics. That somehow this is going to be two parts of the same story. That's where it's coming from. I mean, how can Apple move? Like, if you look at Foxconn, who makes iPhones, right? They have 2.5 million people who work for them in China. And, of course, you know, the worst statistic I can tell you about that is they have the highest suicide rate of any company in the world, because they have these people live there and work there and live there and work there. That's just not an American way. How can we compete without labor? The answer is robotics are going to do it better and cheaper, and the key to robotics is going to be American AI and American intuition and the American technology. It's all coming here. It's coming here now, and we need the people to fix them, to build these factories. Right. I mean, the scale by which these great...
Listen, man. Can't even take no more, man. He telling the truth, but nobody's asking the question. Where does music fit into all that, you know? We used to be the innovators a long time ago. Rippers. Where do I start? Okay, I'll start here. We're not the innovators no more. Matter of fact, we got a little roulette table wager about where things are going in the next few weeks and months ahead. Some of us believe there's no point in battling with AI for dominance over our music and how we'll soon be forced to distribute it. Others of us, including me, totally feel defeated because of the weight of what AI can do and how far advanced the self-learning language models have become, even over beats where AI, AGI, LMs can start rhyming to any tempo after some ultra-fast training period that takes minutes and sometimes seconds to perfect. Now, there's no point in me even trying to get a blue check on IG if the tens of thousands of listeners that spread out between all the different social media pages that I have don't migrate to the correct social media page under my wing and personal direction. I gotta admit, though, and be transparent, that even though I think the battle is lost, I still check in a lot more often if I thought it would make a difference. Now you're probably wondering, what is he talking about and what's the ask? Well, I know 99% of you probably don't care about hearing or paying attention to anything besides what music in general is offering nowadays. So there's certainly nothing I could do about that. I'm working on some distribution channels and have a couple routes I could take with help from one or two of the big homies, but I do think it's hopeless at this point. I say that with confidence because all I have to do is think back to when I penned and vocaled 1,000 interchangeable bars to allow anyone using that formula to make their own songs over beats, either beats that they produced or wanted to turn into a custom mixtape. Now, if you think about it, looking back, that sole action of doing that was my way of competing with AI back in 2008. And with what AI can currently do and presently outpace human output to the point where it's just embarrassing for humans creating art in all forms across the board. To be honest, there's a tiny bit of excitement there as I watch things unfold close enough to music that I record that was released more than 12 plus years ago. Double that down all the way back to Can I Bus, my debut beginning with a landline dial-up modem and that AOL voice saying, "You've got mail." Fast forward to Spitball's website community, built by some genius developers over in Calcutta, that ended up being offered as a subscription-based site but continued to go under the radar. All these attempts were ahead of their time and didn't get enough support to continue or thrive, much less survive. What we see happening right now, uniquely compared to something called the Plume Network, PLUME Network, where music artists can tokenize their creative works, and RWAs, meaning real world assets. Or how about Snoop just a couple days ago ditching Spotify for a partnership with Tune FM, who's using Hedera blockchain and something called a jam token to deliver everything his followers could dream of using the Swift International RTP system. So Hedera blockchain is H bar and the Swift International RTP system is real-time payments. And they're using something called the jam token. I even saw something about Rakim partnering, the God of Law, partnering with an AI-powered fintech financial technology company called Notes. Now, I'm not going to say I told you so because I never do. My stories, past, present, and future, are always etched into a monolithic rhyme somewhere that ends up getting buried after a few interviews. Or let's take my Spotify, for example. They just sent me an email about 118,000 listeners from last month, where the most favorite track was and still is Second Round KO. So, hey yo, that's yeah, I get back.